Alrighty, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. Today we're in the garage working on some bikes. Got a few things I gotta take care of on, whoa, you can't even see me, there we go. Got a few things we gotta take care of on the 125. Now you're probably like, dang, you just built that bike, what's the matter with it? Well, we're doing the first oil change after 2.5 hours of riding. So we get to see what that oil looks like. The other thing is too, after we got done with the build on this bike, the fuel petcock decided to start leaking. So I didn't rebuild that because it was functioning fine before. Anyway, so it has a slight leak to it. So we got a rebuild kit for it. We're gonna rebuild the fuel petcock on the bike, and she should be up and running, ready to rip, no problem. So we'll have a ride video coming out on this soon. Gotta tell you, this bike is fun. This bike is super fun. I'm very happy with it. So it is up for sale. Haven't sold it yet. Had a few bites on it, but nobody's solid. So anyway, if you're interested in this bike, hit me up. Let me know if you're local to Utah, Colorado area. Willing to travel a little bit to kind of deliver it. If that's the case, help a guy out. But otherwise, it is for sale. So now, oil change on this. Big controversial subject. I'm gonna go ahead and continue using the oil that is in it that we have run the bike with 2.5 hours already, and that is Rotella T4 1540 weight. This is what I have been running for years and years and years in my bikes. 4 strokes, 2 strokes, you name it. It is an awesome oil. I have no problem with it. Never had a failure with it. In fact, I found that this oil, about tipped my wheel over. I found that this oil keeps things cleaner than a lot of the other oils I've tried in the past. So that being said, we're gonna go back with that. On these 2 strokes, they don't have filters, so you don't have to worry about changing an oil filter with it. The only thing you have is a drain plug right there. Dump the oil, put the new in, and you're good to go. Now, as far as oil changes go on this, you do need to do the oil changes about every, I don't know, conservatively every 3 to 4 hours. If you want to extend it a little bit, probably every 6, but I would not recommend ever going over 6 hours. So that is my own suggestion. That is my own opinion. Take it for what it's worth. That's what I've been doing on my bikes, on that bike, on all my bikes. Okay. As you can see, the Suzuki's already apart. We've started working on it. We've got the tires off. The wheels are just chilling right over there. So more to come on that, but 2.5 hours break-in, let's swap the oil. All right, let's go ahead and pull the plug and spill the guts on this thing. For those of you that are wondering, I did warm the bike up previously. Because I want to keep my neighbors sane and good relationship with them. Oh, that thing just popped. All right, so let's take our drain plug out and see what the first 2.5 hours is going to tell us here. Hopefully it's good news. That's what we always want to hear. It's good news for sure. All right, so as you guys can see, oil is draining and it looks really good. It looks like it has 2.5 hours on it, so no surprises there. No water in it, nothing like that. No sparklies. We don't have any glitter going on, which is a plus. That being said, yeah, I'm happy with it. Can't complain one bit. Let's go ahead and put our drain plug back in here. I actually just wiped the magnet off, and there was just the slightest bit of just contaminant on there, just like you would normally see. Nothing new there, nothing crazy. So now guys, this oil change procedure that we're doing on this bike, I would recommend doing on all 2 strokes, regardless of make, model, whatever brand. None of them have oil filters. The KTMs, Huskies, and gases, I'm pretty sure all of them have screens, which you have to flush out. But as far as that goes, the 2 strokes don't have oil filters. So same method, drain the crankcase, refill it. You can't go wrong there. So this is an 04 KTM 125SX, and it's pretty much the same. YZs, KTMs, Hondas, you name it. Pretty much the same process. KTM calls for 700 milliliters on this bike. So we're gonna add 700 cc's, milliliters, it's the same thing. So Don't get confused by that. All right, guys, if you are interested in the little cup that I have, I'll put a link down below in the description. It's just an Amazon affiliate link, so you don't pay anything more for it, but I get a little kickback if you use it. So please do that. I'll link down below the oil, the contact cleaner, and of course the measuring cup and the funnel. So you gotta have them to do oil changes. So that is about as painless as an oil change will ever get in your entire life. One bolt, drain it, and fill it right there on the clutch cover. So this baby is ready for another 4 hours of riding before our next spill and fill. So we are in good shape there. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the tank because I gotta fix that fuel petcock. Not too excited about that. I really didn't wanna fix that, but I will show you guys how to do that. It's a very simple process. The kit is awesome. Got an all balls rebuild kit for it, so we're gonna go ahead and bust this thing off and swap that out. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and start taking this thing apart. The first thing I wanna mention though, is you can see right here in the petcock, there's just a little bit of trash at the base of that filter. So make sure you clean that off. Now, with this screen in here, you really wouldn't need a fuel filter in line on a 2-stroke, or a 4-stroke for that matter, as long as there's a screen in there. But sometimes these screens get broken off, somebody takes it apart, the plastic gets brittle and it snaps off. So I always put a fuel filter in. A lot of guys will say you don't need it. I really don't care. It's just extra protection. So that's why I run a fuel filter. So let's go ahead and clean this screen off, and then we will go ahead and start disassembling this. All right, we got that cleaned up. I'm gonna go ahead and start taking this thing apart. Just 2 screws is all it takes. Oh my goodness, this thing is tight. Ugh. Pop these 2 screws off. That will take your faceplate off. And then you will have access to the seals. Okay, so we'll pop our plate off. And then what I want to show you guys here is there is kind of similar to like a judder spring in a clutch. There's this little spring that rides right around the outside of this fuel petcock valve. So you want to make sure that you put that back in, or else you won't have any resistance for turning your petcock. Okay, so we'll set that down. We'll remove our rubber seal here. This is the one that transfers our fluids, our fuels. Okay, now that that's flushed out, I'm gonna dab it dry with a shop towel. I don't want that contact cleaner on that rubber. Now, 2-stroke fuel is, it's obviously got oil in it, right? So it's kind of a lubricant. It is a lubricant, obviously. That's what lubricates the crankshaft on a 2-stroke. So a little 2-stroke oil is what I'm going to use to assemble this back together. I'm just going to use some Castor 927 Maxima stuff, my favorite. Smell good. Smells amazing. I'll put a link down below where you can get some of this. Okay, so on my new seal here, I'm going to go ahead and just put a little bit of 2-stroke oil on it, because it will just mix in with the fuel and you'll never know a difference. Go ahead and place that back into your petcock like so. All right, and then I'm going to clean this valve off. Not that it really needs it. It's a little bit dirty. We're going to clean it off too. Take off our old spring and washer spring combo, whatever it is. These really are like the simplest thing on the planet to rebuild. There's nothing to them. There is absolutely nothing to them. But if you've never rebuilt one, you know, that's why you're here, obviously, I think. Pop this on. And then go ahead and put our fuel petcock back in place where it's supposed to go. Okay, there's our spring installed. Figured I'd show you guys a little bit closer. Okay, so now that we got that, we have our little washer guy here, and this goes right over there and then fits right on like that. And then of course we have our face plate, which is kind of dirty. Not really. It's pretty clean actually. So I'm going to put it back on the correct way. And that is pretty much all there is to a fuel petcock rebuild. Oh my goodness. Go on there. There we go. Okay, like so. We'll get our new screws here since we have them. Might as well use them when we got them. And let's torque this baby down. Kind of crazy. There's not really much holding back the fuel on this. So once that little block O-ring, that little divider O-ring, partition O-ring in the inside gets messed up, I mean, there's no fixing it really. I've seen guys space that out and try to fix them. Just temporary fixes, but it's temporary. This stuff wears out. This is definitely a wear item, okay? So now that that's on there, our fuel petcock can drain and shut, and we don't have any issues that way. Last thing that we need to take out and install would be our brand new tank seal O-ring. So pop this guy out, and ooh, that is nasty in there. Let's wash that out. That's Mobetta. Put a little 2-stroke oil on it too, just to lube it up some, and then drop it over, put it in our groove, and then we'll install this back on our tank. All right, we got our tank installed back on. I'm gonna go ahead before I get too carried away here, and I'm just gonna test this and just make sure that it, obviously it's holding fuel because I have fuel in the tank, but I just wanna make sure that it shuts off, opens and shuts off easy. So let's open it up. Oh, yep, we got good fuel and it shuts off. So that was a solid fix. Now, where it was leaking before, it wasn't leaking through the valve, it was leaking on the face and dripping onto the motor. So that's typically how they fail, is they will leak on the actual face and just make a mess all over your bike. So now that I think about it actually, which makes me feel kind of dumb, when I actually started rebuilding this bike, I noticed there was a huge mess right here when I took the motor out. So that makes sense now. So open my valve and we're good to go. All right guys, easy fix for the win. The KTM is dialed, ready to go. Super excited to ride this thing again. Hopefully I'm gonna ride it this weekend because I still need to do the fork seals on the 450, but just been busy with stuff. So wanna show you this cool product that Motion Pro sent me. They gave me a great deal on this. I'm going to do a review on this thing. This is their 4-stroke leak down tester. It's a brand new product. It's only been out a couple weeks to the public. So we're going to break this baby in. We're going to test it on the RMZ and the YZ450. So stay tuned for that video if you guys are curious about a leak down tester. All right, guys, I appreciate you watching. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, share the video with your friends. Please, it helps me out a lot. The channel's seeing significant growth lately. Pretty happy with that. But let's kick it up a notch. Let's kick it up a notch. Help a brother out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.